What's going on, everyone? Rod Anderson here, man. Super excited. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel tonight. Turn some of this light off. Yeah, so you all can see me better. But man, look, I had to jump on and make this quick video for you all, um, and it's called the two letters in the English alphabet that's probably keeping you stuck and keeping you from reaching your full financial potential. And it was so amazing how I stumbled upon it. And I'll tell you the story in a minute. But first of all, man, thank you for visiting my channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Again, my name is Jarod Anderson, and I teach working professionals how to overcome the the limiting beliefs in the subconscious programming that's keeping them from building wealth and living life on their own terms. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, man, and rock with me and check out my shirt here. Wealth is in your DNA. I'll tell you a little bit about that a little bit later on in the video. But yeah, but these two letters. So what happened? I was doing some homework with my son, or helping him do his homework, I should say. I wasn't doing his homework now, and he got the problems that he was working on. He got a couple of them wrong, and so I put a X on his paper, just like, nope, that one's wrong and that one's wrong. And when I put those X's on his paper, he immediately just kind of dropped down to the floor and he did like this. And I could kind of tell it kind of bruised his ego a little bit. And so I was just like, and he's in first grade, let me say that. So I was just like, yo, Jay, what's wrong, man? I'm just showing you the ones that you got wrong. And he was just like, you put those X's on my paper. And so I was like, I didn't think anything of it at the time, but I went back and later on I thought about it and it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. I was just like, oh man, we have as students now, and you may be an adult now, but think about this. As a student, you have a subconscious association with the letter X, because usually X means something is wrong or something is missing. And so when I thought about it, I could go back even in my school days and I could still see assignments that I didn't do good on, and I can still see that red pen and I could still see those X's. And so what I realized is that for a lot of people, X represents wrong. And so, of course, in school, we're taught that X is, oh my gosh, you don't want to get an X, you want to get a check because an X means that you got something wrong. So, guess what we do? Um, on a subconscious level, probably we do everything we can at all costs to avoid getting the X because we see an X as representing, well, I got something wrong. Well, it's not right. And so you start to try to avoid situations, or you just always want to have the right answer. And if you don't think you have that right answer, then you try to stray away from them things that you're not good at. So I started thinking of like, oh, so subconsciously people run from getting that X. And so it just kind of morphed from there. And I thought about, well, what's another thing that we were probably taught in school that to this very day could be preventing you from reaching your full potential and tapping into wealth. And I thought about the letter F. So think about that. In school, what is the letter F associated with? Failure. So if you get an F on your paper, it's like, oh man, that's horrible. You got an F, that means you fail. And so what happens is subconsciously, we try to avoid situations that either show us to be wrong or situations where we come out like a failure. And so guess what? A lot of times you limit yourself, you limit what you're willing to do, you limit what you're willing to try because you don't want to mess up, you don't want to make a mistake. And guess what it goes back to? It goes back, I guarantee you, it goes back to that X or that F that you got in school. So what does that have to do with your wealth? Well, here again, you've been conditioned to want to get the right answer. And so you color within the lines, and for the most part, you just kind of follow the pathway that has been presented before you because you don't want to take the chance of, well, what if I mess up or what if it doesn't work out? And one thing about wealth creation is definitely going to cause you to have to think outside of the box. You can't do everything the way that everybody else is doing it because the way that everybody else is doing it is pretty much keeping them working on a 9 to 5 and limiting their life to a paycheck. Well, guess what? That's the safe, right way to do it. And there's very little risk involved. So when we talk about building wealth, and I have this thing that I call the default program of life. And most people have been programmed by this default program because the way that society is set up, everybody or most people have gone through it. So what's that default program? Go to school, get your education. After you get your education, get your degree, then guess what? You go and find a job, a well-paying job, which a whole lot of people still don't find a job for what they went to school for. And so just think about that. Big thing going on now was the student loan forgiveness. And so how many people got into these thousands of dollars worth of debt and never made enough money to pay it back? Think about that. So you invested so many years of your life, so much of your money to get your education, which I'm not knocking it, nothing wrong with your education. But look at what the end result is. You end up with a mountain load of debt that you can't pay back or that you don't ever get to a place of making enough where you can pay it back. And you're limited because the job pretty much has you capped at your certain income. And if inflation is rising higher than your job, guess what? Your salary is getting less and less. So to produce wealth, you're going to have to think outside of the box. You're going to have to reduce the time that it takes you to make money, and you're going to have to increase the number of streams. So get that. When we talk about wealth building, number one, you got to reduce the time. So what do I mean by that? If you're getting paid, I'm not even saying how much you make, but if you only get paid once a month, do you know how hard that is to try to budget money? You get paid on the 31st and you got to make that last for 30 days. I mean, I remember when I got my first real job. I was so excited about it because I knew I was getting a good salary. But then I said, well, the a job that I had previously paid every 2 weeks. This particular job only paid once a month. And I was like, once a month? How in the world am I supposed to live getting paid once a month? So right then I knew it's like, something ain't right about this. I gotta make one check last for a whole month. And so what I'm saying, you have to increase the speed at which money comes in. Because to try to stretch money from the first of the month all the way to the end of the month, just one check, that's crazy. So, wealth building, you got to increase the speed in which money comes in. And two, you got to increase the streams. So you got to have multiple streams. Well, guess what? That goes totally counterculture to what we've been taught. You've been taught get your job and whatever day, however often they pay you for, guess what? Go with it. That's what they're giving you. So there's nothing more that you can do. If they only pay you once a month and you get paid once a month, and you make yourself okay with it. But guess what? That's not going to get you to a place of financial freedom. But the thing that will get you to a place of financial freedom, it forces you to have to think and operate differently than what you've been programmed for. And keep keep that word in mind, what you've been programmed for. And because and people say that it's risky, like, well, man, starting your own business is risky, or what happens if it doesn't work, or happens if it fails. Oh, where did that aversion of failure come from? It came from that letter F that you got on your report card. It came from the F that you got on those assignments. So all these years, what you have been trying to do is, let's avoid things that might fail, or things that I may get wrong, because you're always supposed to get the right answer. And to be totally honest with you, that's not real life. So you kind of understand how your early experience with those two letters, F and X, have probably put you in a place where you try to avoid anything that's going to make you out to be a quote unquote failure, which there's really no such thing as failure. I heard a lot of people said it, but Kobe Bryant had made a comment one time. It's just like, it's not even real. Like, if you fail, then you learn from what didn't work, you tweak it, and then you try something different. And then if that doesn't work, you tweak it, remix it, adjust it, and you try something different. So as long as you're learning from it, the failure is just intended to give you feedback. You're not going to get anything on the first try, but because we've been so conditioned to avoid making F's, or failing, or being failures, you see how that happened? It goes from making an F to being a failure. And these are all of the subconscious programmings that are running in our mind. So that's what I really wanted to share with you. Um, I have a free webinar. It's called The Program. And let me tell you why it's so important and powerful, because you're living the life that you're living right now based off of your programming. It's just, think about a computer. That computer is only going to put out what's been programmed into it. And so whatever, if Windows 10 is on there, then whatever that computer puts out is going to be based off of whatever is in that Windows 10 operating system or program. So it's the same thing with you. You're going to produce what you've been programmed for. The thing is, you're not quite sure what you've been programmed for. You just kind of see how life is playing out. And I would venture to say a lot of people aren't happy with their financial status. A lot of people want financial freedom, but they can't figure out how to this break through this wall of containment where their job is concerned, uh, depending on only one stream of income. They would like to have more, but how am I supposed to do that? I can't make multiple streams, and I work 8 hours a day on this job. See, it's all programming. So, point I'm making, if you don't change the programming, then the output of your life cannot change. So, it's simple. If you want to see different outputs or results in your life, change the program. Well, how in the world do I change the program? That's what the free webinar is for. So go on the link in the description, and you can register for it. And I go in detail of a lot of things that we have been programmed for as a result of what I call that default life program of going to school, get your education, get a job, work for 40 years, and retire. Your whole life has been planned out. That's a program. And most of who you are today probably was derived from some aspect of that program. So we're going to have to uncover that so we can rewrite it and start producing some different outputs. So definitely go and check that webinar out. And I also have a free ebook download for you. It's called Breaking Free of the Unfulfillment Trap. A lot of working professionals are unfulfilled, and you will be surprised at what the root of that unfulfillment is, that feeling of unfulfillment. Just like, I don't feel like I'm really accomplishing anything. I'm just spinning my wheels. There's a reason why you're feeling that way, and I go through that in that ebook as well. So the link is down in the description. So hopefully you all got some value from this video. My goal is to do one video every day for the month of September. So make sure you check back because I'm going to be dropping something every day. So I really want to hit this programming hard because I see a lot of people, their life is contained and it's stuck and they can't figure why. And the reason why is because of this programming. And we're going to uncover it and we're going to expose it. And I'm going to show you how to reprogram yourself to be in alignment with the type of life that you actually want. All right. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you like what you heard. Tell a friend about it. Just really getting this channel started, getting it off the ground. So thank you for your support. Make sure that anybody who is a working professional and have a desire to create wealth and break free of the limitations of your fears, your mental blocks, your limiting beliefs, your distorted self-images, your subconscious program. If you're too dependent on your 9 to 5 and it's not doing what you need it to do, this channel is for you. All right. So my name is Jarod Anderson again. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.